Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Capital Wasteland. Here we're going to be checking out Northwest Seneca Station, along with some of the surrounding area. Now, this is a location I have very little, next to no memory of, but this location is actually pretty cool. There's a lot going on here, there's some kind of cool characters, and it is attached to a much larger quest, but we're going to be saving that for another day. So for now, let's just go ahead and check out some of the area, some of the characters, and see what loot we can find. Now, Northwest Seneca Station is located just north of Arafu and south of Paradise Falls, as you can see here on the Pip-Boy. Now, as you approach for the first time, you're just going to find a couple of buildings, and then a sign that says Northwest Seneca Station. So obviously this was probably a major station during the pre-war era. Now, there is this grocery store that we can enter, and there's going to be some rad roaches, so just take care of them. Pretty easy to kill for the most part. And there was a radio I wanted to turn off to avoid any kind of copyright. There's a first aid box with random first aid supplies. And then underneath the register, we can find 2 boxes of sugar bombs. There's also a safe, which we can unlock using lockpick or science. Now, throughout your playthrough of Fallout 3, it might be wise to collect boxes of sugar bombs for this location. Of course, if you're not interested in doing drugs, then you don't have to collect sugar bombs. But there is something cool going on here. Now, for now, though, we'll just kind of go throughout the rest of the grocery store. There really isn't a whole lot else, though, besides what we just talked about, besides dog meat getting in my way. There's a refrigerator with some Nuka-Colas and stuff, but nothing that special. As I left the grocery store, I got attacked by these Talon Company mercs, so do be careful, but me and dog meat were able to take care of them fairly easily. However, behind me, there started just being crazy explosions and stuff. I suspect somebody threw a frag grenade, and it blew up that motorcycle and kind of caused some chaos. Now, one thing I did want to point out on these station benches, we do have a map of the train system, which I just thought was really cool attention to detail. There's also one on that sign there. Now, if we head on into the actual metro, we will be greeted by some mole rats if you go right. However, we'll go back to them later. For now, we're just going to go straight, and we're going to find these 2 flaming barrels and a door. And inside, we will find Murphy. And Murphy is a friendly ghoul doctor who is trying to create and sell Ultra Jet. Now, Ultra Jet is just an enhanced version of Jet, and it requires sugar bombs to make. So using some speech, we can increase the amount of caps he will give us per box of sugar bombs. So this can be a good place to make some quick money. It's not a whole lot, but if you had a lot of sugar bombs, yeah, it would add up somewhat. He will give you 15 to 30 caps per box, and once you give him 8 boxes of sugar bombs, he will give you Ultra Jet. So a pretty good deal for you. Now, in the back of Murphy's room, there is a sewage tunnel which we can enter. And this will take us to the Mercedes Service Tunnel. However, this is a part of the quest Blood Ties, or the Mercedes Service Tunnel, so we will worry about that in a future video. However, there are some Mirelurks down here, so I went ahead and killed them for the XP using my 44 Magnum. It is pretty easy if you shoot them in the face, like so. But for now, we will ignore the rest of this area. Just be aware, this is one possible entrance into the Mercedes Service tunnels. Now, heading back to Northwest Seneca Station, we can go inside of the bathroom here, and there will be some mole rats. If you mess up the bit at the Tepid Sewers during Moida Brown's quest, the Wasteland Survival Guide, this can be a good place to find some additional mole rats because they always spawn in here. As you can see there, I kind of messed up in Tepid Sewers doing the optional objective, so I came here in order to kill some more mole rats and complete the optional objective. But besides that, that's pretty much it for inside the station itself. However, there is a lot going on in the surrounding area. If we head to the east-southeast, there will be, a Yaoguai, so take out that Yaoguai. But more importantly, there's going to be a shack on top of this kind of peninsula. If you go up to the shack, you will actually find a friendly scavenger, and she will offer to sell you stuff. There's also some locked ammo crates, but obviously it would be considered stealing to take it from her. But just so you know, if you're a bad person, you can take it. And then just south of Northwest Seneca Station, that's a weird sentence, but just south we can find some docks and some boats and some Mirelurks, so make sure you take them out if they come attacking you. But I couldn't really find anything at the docks themselves, but just kind of a cool little unmarked location. There is also a camper here and a rowboat, but yeah, there's really nothing as far as loot. And there's also a skeleton laying on a picnic table. Who knows what happened to that poor soul? And finally, on the highway above Northwest Seneca Station, we can find an Enclave outpost. Now, interestingly enough, one of the Enclave soldiers is friendly towards you for whatever reason, but as soon as the other two Enclave soldiers notice you, they will attack. If you can somehow sneakily kill all of the Enclave soldiers, then the other Enclave soldier will remain friendly to you, but the second you engage in combat, well, it's game over. Also, if you didn't see there, the Enclave soldier with the missile launcher launched a missile straight into the back of his comrade. Wow, what an idiot. But besides that, we have the normal Enclave loot up here, so just go ahead and take what you can find, like a stealth boy. Pretty darn good. Alright everyone, and I think that covers the Northwest Seneca Station, a pretty cool, nifty little area with a lot more going on than initially meets the eye. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Unexplored Capital Wasteland. If you have any ideas or recommendations for future videos, future ideas, please let me know in the comments section below. And as always, until next time.